right, welcome to another episode of Most Man Out There. How y'all doing out there? Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartMedia. It is jointhemensclub.com is the website, and info@themostmen.com if you want to email. Come over to Rumble. Come to Rumble. We are it. What are we, Tyler, over there? Most Man
Podcast.
Most Man Podcast. Come to Rumble. They're not censoring anybody on Rumble. We can talk whatever the hell we want to talk about over there. So today we've got a cool. I'm looking forward to this because we've had a bunch of older guests. We got Dom Ramirez in the house. He is our Lamar Billboard guy.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So basically, how old are you?
I'll be 28 in May.
Okay. So
God.
This podcast is about building better men, yes, and building a men's club. That's what jointhemensclub.com is. It's a men's club and it's organized with lots of successful business people, attorneys, psychiatrists, psychologists. I mean, just anything. Everybody in the men's club so far has done something and can do, but it's to help. But when we're building this men's club, what we're doing is we're creating categories and opportunities to where with their membership, that, like, let's just say this, just the easiest example to make. Let's say that we got some guy stuck in a cubicle, 25 years old, doesn't know what he wants to do, or he's 35 years old and he's like, man, I made the wrong career path.
I can relate, yeah. I've been there 25 in a cubicle, hating my life, and making 160 phone calls in a day.
Yeah. So in the men's club, what we do is we package up different sections of, like, I'm the real estate business guy. Like, I can help start any business. It doesn't matter. It's how do you build it, plan it, and structure it. We have a guy in here. He's the pickle guy. Here's he did his first potion last week. He was on last week too. But he's in the vending machine business. And do you know that he makes, I'm not going to say how much he makes, but he makes more off a vending machine a month than I did off my rent houses. That's a $3,000, $4,000 machine versus a $150,000 house.
Yeah.
And
a lot less overhead.
Oh, God. Yeah. So we've got that. We've got a guy that, he's an inventor. He came up with, that cool towel that you get wet and you throw around your neck. He built that, or he made that. Brandon, the pickle guy, he was the guy that got this pickle juice thing going.
Man, pickles are huge right now. Everybody's doing a pickle-flavored something, pickle-flavored seltzer, pickle-flavored, you name it.
I'm starting a pickle company.
Really?
Yeah. I'm doing my own pickle, salsa, and jalapeno company. And Brandon's doing the shout out Brandon Brooks. He's doing the pickle guy. He's doing this pickle juice right here is like that much coconut water in one shot. It's got pickle juice. It's got coconut water instead of water. It's got pickle juice, coconut water. Apple cider vinegar. It's got all the electrolytes, all these vitamins, but this is like a shot.
Yeah.
That just will
that'll snap you back.
It'll snap you back quick. It's like people that, for like marathon runners.
Hey, I'm Mike from Music Radio Creative. In this video, I'll show you how to load jingles and sound effects on
kids.
But it's got it. But this one was blueberry, but he had another one called like blood orange, like tiger's blood.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, they're good. But anyway, we're building a platform to where, especially with the way AI is coming and all the way that just the funky world that we live in.
Sure.
We'll give them an opportunity to either start a site like the vending machine. That's why I bring up Brandon and the vending machine, because that's an easy side hustle to where, because not everybody can just quit their job and start a career over.
Right.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at with this. That's why I started this. Is looky there, how unprofessional I am. I've built very large companies, and I've done very, very well. And I went through a massive bankruptcy, and I didn't lose everything because I've set myself up financially the way you're supposed to.
Good deal.
But it just put everything into perspective. Like that, and I went through a nasty divorce at the same time for no reason. Shouldn't even happen. But I'm just saying, I went through what can happen to people, and that's what I want to do, is prevent that from happening to people. But it basically, I went through the low, the bottom of the bottom, and there was no upside to anything. It felt like, and I was like, this is why people just put a bullet in their head.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. There's nothing. There's no hope.
Yeah,
and I knew I'd get through it, and I did. But I was just like, man, this is this is PTSD, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I went through a major event, and sometimes like that, when I went through that, man, like my whole family took a chance to like just put their foot on my neck. You know what I mean? Like they were like, you know, because I was the big successful guy in the family, and then all of a sudden it was like,
people taking their shots at you.
Yeah. Welcome back to the bottom where we've been.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now.
Playing on your downfall.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and so many people have been there in different ways, you know, and that's such a great cause or mission to have in a company, is to help people in those kinds of situations, because that can happen to anybody. Like you said, 25-year-olds unmarried, or 35-year-olds in a dead-end job that they hate and on the verge of divorce. So, I mean, there's so many different levels of people that could benefit from, you know.
And sometimes you just need somebody to talk to, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like just like, or we'll see something happening like that. That's why I wanted to have him on. Is he's young, and that's why I want to hear from you. Like what's going on, and because I'm 45, so I don't see it through your lens. Tyler saw it through a different lens. I've seen it through a different lens. There's other guys here that have seen it in a lens up above me, you know, in their 50s and 60s.
Yep.
So, but, you know, sometimes you need somebody to talk to. You need somebody saying, hey, whoa, man, I already made that mistake. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I've already been there. Let me tell you why. Yeah.
It's not just you. Trust me. Like, there's been people that this has happened to before, and there's going to be people after you that this has happened to. Just
right. So we're like a fraternity. We take care of each other.
Yeah.
And we help each other make money. You know what I mean? So that's why I was so interested in having you. And I'm going to let you explain what you do, but is that there's a lot of people out. They don't have to come to work for your company, but there's a lot of people that sales is a good job.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna give you the floor of what you do, and then I'm gonna tell you why I think you're a good fit for what we're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been in sales now for going on like 5-6 years. I started out doing sales back at my university. I went to Texas Tech, and I was doing ticket sales there, and I loved it. I thought that's what I was going to be my career forever. Unfortunately, the pandemic kind of cut that dream short, and so I was just moving on from there and trying to figure out, you know, what's next. So I got in at a good company, was there for a couple years, but kind of like I mentioned earlier, I didn't love it. I didn't even really like it. The money was good enough for me to be living in Dallas post-grad, you know, making about the same money that all my friends were. So I was like, you know, it could be worse. You know, I could be looking for a job right now. But I knew I wasn't going to be happy there. So eventually I moved on from there, and I've been at my current job, Lamar, for about 6 months now. And it's just been great. I've been loving it. But, you know, basically it's sales at its core. You're meeting people, shaking hands, building relationships. That's really all sales is. If you can talk to somebody, if you can have a conversation, you'll be fine in sales.
Well, and here's what sales does for you as a business guy. I was same thing, young and in sales. What kind of tickets were you selling?
So like athletic tickets, yeah. So I worked in our athletic department doing football, basketball, baseball, all major sports. I was selling season tickets, single game tickets, all that kind of thing. Here's what sales does for you that most man moment. Sales is your foundation of if you didn't get in it, and it turns you into a businessman. That's absolutely right.
Okay.
You're
That's
in
the
control of your own business, basically.
Right. But what you're doing is you're learning how business really gets down.
Mm-hmm.
Not what they can teach you in school.
Yeah.
They can't teach you this in school.
Oh, yeah.
And the way that they teach you the corporate structure
Sure.
of business, which it works in a lot of instances, but not in the real world, man.
Yeah.
No. So that's what you would be a key player in that. Not saying that you have to do it, but so he's our billboard guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're about to do a big billboard campaign here in DFW. So we just signed a contract. He's doing all of our advertising. But sales is a perfect job for anybody that doesn't have experience in college experience.
Yeah, I mean, I can totally talk to that. Like most of my friends were either in finance or, medical, nurses, that kind of thing, where it basically sets you up for a job immediately after college. You don't really have to go job hunting. You kind of have that figured out for you. With me, I didn't really have – my degree was basically so I could get that piece of paper to help me get jobs after college. So I knew going into the workforce, I was like, okay, what's a job that you don't need a ton of skills for, but if you are a people person and you bust your ass, you can make good money, which is exactly what sales is. Commission-based sales jobs, as long as you hustle, as long as you, do what you're supposed to do, and then you meet people and make good relationships with people, you can make a killing in sales.
Is you write your own paycheck.
Absolutely. And that was a kind of job that interests me because then I have direct power over what I make.
Right. And what's the point I was going to make on that? Speaking to how do you feel about the whole college thing, getting the ticket to get a job? Is it even worth what it's written on anymore?
It depends. It depends on who writes it. It depends on what school you're getting it from. It depends on the job you're trying to get after.
Because a lot of companies now are like, well, we'd rather train you from scratch. We don't want you out of college with all that garbage they shove down their throat.
Yeah, I guess it really just depends on what kind of career you're trying to get. But with sales, you do not need a college degree to get sales.
No.
It helps you get in the door to get that interview. Just being able to put that on your resume that you have a college degree could be in anything. But that's what kind of helps you get your foot in the door. But in terms of practical skills at doing the job, no, you don't need a college degree to do that.
Because it seems like there's a big movement right now of kids not wanting to go to college.
Yeah.
They feel like they're wasting their time. That's why I'm asking that question.
And money. I mean,
lots of money.
Like lots of money, especially if you finish more than 4 years, which a lot of people do nowadays because they either take a semester off or, have to repeat a course or what have you. But, yeah, most people don't finish college in 4 years anymore anyway. So you're in debt for a long time. And if you don't really have a career path in mind, what did you just waste 4 or 5 years on?
Of your prime.
Yeah, exactly.
Of your prime. Like whenever you can give your all. So that's that's kind of one of our most man moments is when you're young like that. One bad decision can derail your whole 20s.
Absolutely.
And look how fast you're 20, how fast you're 28. How fast did that go?
Golly, I'm knocking on 30. My girlfriend gives me crap all the time. She's like, "You're old." I'm like, I still feel 23, 24.
Yeah.
Maybe not after a long weekend I feel 28. But
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like, yeah, that flies by for sure. So I mean, if I could have started my career when I was 20, and then let's see if I've been in sales like about 5-6 years now, then I'd be 25 making what I do now and have 5 more years of my 20s left.
Yeah. Yeah, and
and I'm not saying don't go to college. I think college is a great thing. I think college teaches a lot about life lessons outside of the classroom and outside of your corporate life, like how to,
deal with people.
Exactly. How to maneuver relationship with friends, significant others, how to build responsibility.
Because that's I didn't want to cut you off, but
No.
that's when you're going to. That's when people they're learning right from wrong.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You're getting all those hard life lessons, right?
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I thought that was cool. I thought me and him were good friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You learn a lot about people. People learn a lot about themselves in college too. Like you kind of figure out in college, like, okay, I thought I was going to be I came into college thinking I wanted to be a doctor. Now I'm like, screw that. I want to be a journalist or something. You know, you learn a lot about yourself just by being around so many people that are like you. And that's kind of what attracted me to what you guys do here, is because I was in a fraternity in college, and that's exactly what it seemed like. When you and I had first talked, and you were telling me about Most Man and what y'all's mission is and what you're trying to do with the membership, and just getting men in touch with other men about, where to go at certain crossroads, or if you need
building them. If they've gone through a major event in their life and they need help getting on their feet again.
Exactly. And that took me right back to what me and all my friends do for each other. If someone's down, we're still reaching out to them, trying to help them up. If someone is in financial trouble, like trying to get them back on their feet. If someone's just like looking for advice, like, giving them that kind of advice, like, well, I know this is what I did. It might not work for you, but here's some thoughts at least.
Yeah. So that's when I was growing up, when I was your age. So I started my first business when I was 17. And
what was that?
It was a chimney sweep business.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. And speaking of sales, that's how I built it, was door to door.
There you go.
Yeah. And it worked. It worked really good. But I always hung out with older people. Like all my friends, I was always like, I felt like one thing I was going to say, that's what ties back into what you said about college. Okay. Is that young men we're not fully developed till we're 25 anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know.
The frontal cortex of your brain's not. Girls are done back in 21, 22.
Yeah,
we take a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's for the younger crowd. That's what I'm saying, is that part of your time, that's where you got to really watch what you do.
Yeah.
And it's hard to, because we're not fully wired yet.
Sure.
We're still in party mode and chasing girls and all that. So that's what matters.
Destructive party mode. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry about the future. We're just worried about tonight.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but when I was younger, I didn't have the opportunity to go to college. I mean, I grew up poor. Mm-hmm. Like my mom, single mother. She's like, I mean, we were poor to where if I wasn't paying some of the utilities, we wouldn't have had them. Yeah. And she was like, look, the only thing that's going to solve your problems is a job and work. That's what your life's going to be. And that's I was an entrepreneur as a young kid anyway, but I just was not going to live in that lifestyle anymore. I was like, man, I'm getting myself out of here. So, but all my friends were older. I didn't get along with my peers. And I think it's the way that I grew up that I was forced to be more mature for my age.
That'll force you to be entrepreneurial and basically figure it out. If
you have to, or you don't eat
better than this. Yeah, you got to hustle.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and think about how many people out there. It sounds like you had your parents did well enough to where you could go.
Yeah. So I'm here from the DFW area. I went to a private K through 8, and then a private 8 through 12 school. We lived in a pretty classic middle class suburban neighborhood. Nothing fancy, but nothing. We were doing pretty well. I mean, they made well enough to send me to school. They sent me through college, which was great. I'm very thankful for what they did. My dad kind of came from the exact same kind of upbringing that you had.
Yeah.
He's a lot older. My dad's in his mid-70s, but he grew up very poor in somewhere in the middle of Kansas, in Wichita, Kansas. So he was the same
opportunity there.
Exactly. He was the same way. They got there because his, I think, grandfather moved there to build the railroad. So that whole kind of, you work to put any kind of food on the table mindset came all throughout his family. So I think when he started his own family, he was like, his whole thing was, I want to make sure my kids have better than I did. So he him and my mom definitely provided plenty of opportunity for us. So.
Well, that explains why Most Man moment. This is the reason why he's here. Okay. That explains private school, why you're on the level of your level. And that's why I wanted to have him on here, is that for 28 years old, He is way ahead of the curve, way ahead. mentally, business, acuity, acumen, all that. So that explains going to private school.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
my parents might argue the other way, but
well, we're always going to do that with our
Yeah.
kids.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you're never going to get. Yeah, it's always going to be. I can make it a little tougher.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. But
yeah.
behind closed doors, all we do is talk good about you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's why I wanted to have you on, is because y'all are going through a whole different version of this. The internet changed our generation.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Like, we were forced into phones, and because at first people were like, I don't want people calling me all the time.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? I want my privacy. So, you know, it was forced upon us, but then we all embraced technology. Tyler grew up. He's 35. He's 35 and or 36, and technology was just normal to him.
Yeah.
Your generation, I mean, I don't even know. Y'all don't know how life was without technology.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, and even the generation kind of below me, like everyone in college, right, high school, college, or even recent grads right now, they all grew up with something in their hand. Like, I didn't really have a phone till high school, but I like learned. You know, with my generation, technology came quick, and we figured it out quick. And now the younger kids have it even quicker.
But what do they do? I mean, I know you're in sales, but what do they do for a living? Because they don't. It seems like y'all's generation. There's probably still some left in there, but like my generation was, if you didn't go to college, man, you're in construction.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of to your point with technology, social media has gotten so big. People can make their whole living off social media now. Yeah. So a lot of the kids in the generation, I guess, a little bit below me, they're finding and making their living off social media, guys and girls. They find a niche and they start just putting out as much content about it as they gym, cooking, food, makeup, you name it, and they just start making content about it, and then all of a sudden they have an advertiser here, an advertiser there, and they're living good. So I mean, that's
speaking of my bookkeeper, she's a college kid, or she's not no more, but her. Speaking of this, my bookkeeper's daughter, she's going to UCLA to become a brain surgeon. She just started medical school. She just started med school. So, but she spent all that money and was like, I don't know if I want to do that. But her friend, her friend. So they both were going together to do something in she was going to be a brain surgeon, and she was going to be doing something in medical as well, but not brain surgery. But she's a smart kid.
Sure.
Okay. She called her mom and she said, I'm taking a semester off. And she's like, bullshit, you're taking a semester off. And she said, why are you taking a semester off? She said, because I'm making more money right now than I think that I'm going to make with what my major is. Do you know that all this girl does, she doesn't even talk. All she does is try on clothes and model clothes for these clothing companies.
Yep.
And she's making probably close to $600,000-$700,000 a year.
Golly.
Putting on clothes.
That's crazy.
I don't even know if she shows her face.
Yeah. Clothes, products, like makeup products, that stuff will get you a lot of money too. Like, girls can build their whole brand and just off that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But do you find that in your generation that it's harder to get ahead in life? That's what I want to know, is because my generation, kind of Tyler's generation, we had the internet just made so much opportunities.
Yeah.
And but it seems like your generation might have people that actually do skilled work still, but this younger generation,
I think the mindset's a lot different. So like for me, I think I still kind of have some of that old school mindset of you get a job that you can have a career in, You get that job by going to college. You stay at that job as long as you possibly can. I don't care if you don't like it. You just do it because it's going to make good money for you. You're going to be able to buy the house you want, the car you want, pay for your kids, yada, yada, yada. My girlfriend, she's a couple years younger than me. Their kind of mindset is I'm going to be more focused on how happy I am at this job and if it's making me enough money. Because a lot of people that age will find a job that they like because they get to work from home. They don't have to go into the office. They really they don't have to work as hard. They don't have a boss breathing down their neck, like your traditional job. It might not pay them as much, but they get to, screw around and at home, So a lot of the younger generation is more based off like, how happy am I going to be in this job? Not so much am I going to get where I want to get in life? I think their mindset's a lot more short term than it is this job going to pay for me to do what I want to do 10 years from now?
Because they're planning on having kids.
Yeah.
Well, there's another question. Are big families or kids popular in y'all's generation? Seems like we're not having as many kids as we used to.
I hear that. I hear statistics on that. I guess for me, it's kind of hard to tell because I'm getting to that age where people are starting to have kids. But I think probably like the generation maybe 5 years older than me or 10 years older than me, they're probably having kids sooner, I think.
Yeah, we started having kids in our mid-20s.
Exactly. Like, I think for my age, I'm late to, like, I keep getting worried that I'm late to the party because, like, I don't have kids yet.
probably
won't have kids at least for another, like, 2 to 4 years at the earliest. So
well, it's smarter.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest
gives you a chance to get your base underneath you.
That's the biggest reason why. I want to make sure I have a nice foundation so we can live in the house we want to live in, drive the cars we want to drive, get our kids the stuff they need to have, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because stability in the home.
Yeah,
that. This is something that I talk about all the time. Is the way you're doing it smart? Okay, is because. I'll use my sister I use her as an example all the time. Is that she was married right out of high school, in college, and as soon as she got out of college, boom, kids. Well, my brother-in-law, he was maxed out at 23 years old as far as career goes, where he worked. He worked for his dad, and in their mind, they thought, oh, dad will end up giving the brothers the company.
Yeah. Just what he sold it?
He sold it.
Yeah.
Sold it to
I mean, that is the mindset though. You're like, okay, I work for my family company. This is how it's supposed to go. I'm going to get this one day.
Well, they start having kids and my sister's kind of like, well, we kind of need to upgrade the casa and,
move to a better neighborhood so the kids can go to a better school.
Yeah. Right. No, none of that was it's like, no, we're tapped. We're tapped here. And it divorce.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, the opposite happened in my house, but I'm just saying that if you don't think those things through, man, that's the division in divorce is if you don't have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Most man moment. Okay. It's, and that's why I was so impressed with you is, and I'm not trying to kiss your ass. I'm just saying it's a breath of fresh air to see a young guy that's got his shit together, that understands the business world, and is making a plan. And because that is to all all our future audience and all that, or we can prevent those problems from happening.
Yeah.
That's why we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
I
think this conversation is really good for those people younger than me too, who are just getting out of college, thinking, I'm just looking for a job so I can go move to whatever city my friends are in and, party. Like
everybody else is getting married. I'm going to get married. No, it's one bad decision with the wrong chick will ruin it. That's
yeah. I mean, I think statistically the highest reason for divorce is financial.
Yes.
Financial reasons. So if you can have a plan before you even start getting down that road, I think you'll be one would be in better shape.
Yeah, because girls, just from what I've been through, okay, and I had a good one. I didn't have a bad one, but I saw what was happening to all my friends, and I was like, I'm getting my business in order. I'll wait for a good one to come around. Mom was actually older than me, 2 years older than me.
Okay.
So, but I was just like, man, he's a great guy. He's just getting freaking beat down by this girl because she wants to get married and start having kids. And it's like, man, have you even figured out the plan yet? She wants to get married. I'm like, well, you got a say in it too, you know?
Yeah.
But yes, that's the whole point why I brought up about my sister is that before you get married, you need to have that 10-year talk plan. Like, what's our 10-year window look like?
Absolutely.
Because
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, because if it's not talked about, and when you get halfway there, and she's sitting there going, "God, man, I thought you'd be making a little bit more money than you are right now,"
Yeah.
or he's comfortable, you know, with how everything is.
Like I like my job. I don't really want to move just because you want to get another purse this month or something like that.
Okay, but here's the thing. Here, a lot of them, and this is, I'm not women bashing out there, but the feminism is real. But what I'm saying is, me and Tyler were talking about this either yesterday or today, but I don't think they mean to do it. Like you need to be making more money.
Yeah.
No, it's when you do step up, they're not going backwards again.
Oh yeah, no.
You know what I mean? Like
No.
that's the new level.
Yeah.
Okay. So
You
we're
can't
only
go
building from here.
Yeah.
So if you have that 10-year talk that, all right, where do you, not where do you expect me to be at,
Us.
us. What's our plan?
Uh-huh.
What do you bring to the table? What do I bring to the table? And how do we get to the end?
Yeah.
Go.
How are we managing our finances together? Not, are we putting our money together? Or is it your money and my money? Like, I think that's an important conversation to have too.
It is. Because here's the thing: is that my generation. That's the whole reason why we're talking. My generation was in the marriage talk. It was, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
Period. Like, that's what I want. And if you can't provide that for me, then we're not getting married. And for me, I didn't have a problem with it because I was like, well, that just takes a hell of a burden off my hands of, you know what I mean? Like daycare.
Yeah.
All
True. I've never really thought about that. Yeah. I guess that does kind of take one thing off.
But here's what happens though. Here's what happened in my generation with that is that all of us guys were focusing on our careers and work and business and whatever, right? And we just assume that them sitting at home taking care of the kids, that what you don't realize is that that's all she talks to all day as a kid.
Yeah.
So as soon as you walk through the door, it's like, it's like, whoa, hold up a second. Can I just get through the door?
Yeah.
I mean,
I just had an 8-hour work day.
Yeah, or 10, 12, 15,
yeah. In the heat, in the cold, depending on your career.
Yeah. Had a guy almost run me off the highway today.
Yeah.
So, so what happened is that's where the divide went. Is that they wanted to be the mother of the world.
Mm-hmm.
The mother of the. Every one of them wanted the Mother of the Year award. So all of a sudden, you're just there to pay the bills.
Yeah.
That's where. So the divide starts happening.
Sure.
And it happened to a lot of my friends.
Yeah.
And we all went through it at the same time. And so all of a sudden you're like, well, then they, the kids are starting to get a little bit older, and they're like, well, I don't want to bash, but it's like, well, this is what you wanted. Mm-hmm. Why are you complaining about being what you wanted to be? You know what I mean? Like, you don't understand. All I do is raise kids. It's like, well, that's what you wanted.
Yeah. You said you didn't want to work.
And it was a requirement.
Before you got married.
Yeah. So they find out, and then like they didn't know what the recession was. All the stay-at-home moms, they didn't know that in 2008 when shit hit the fan,
mm-hmm.
they didn't understand what a recession was. And all the men were like, dude, I'm doing everything I got out here to keep this thing together, and you're just bitching about staying at home.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with that? So in my generation, that's kind of what happened. It seems like it's corrected in Tyler's generation. He'd have to speak on that. I don't want to speak for him. But how is it in your generation? Do the girls want to keep their careers, or are they stay-at-home moms? Or what?
I think it depends, because I have friends that they'll talk about I have female friends that they'll talk about like, oh, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I want to be at home raising the kids. Like, I don't want to have to work, that kind of thing. But I don't think a lot of them, like me, had thought about your point that you just made, saying, thinking like, that's your life now. You don't have anything outside the house, like, and then that causes that split. And I have a lot of friends right now that are in that getting married stage, And I just kind of assume all of them are having this conversation like, hey, where do we want to be in 10 years financially? Like, what are we going to do with raising the kids? Are you going to work? That kind of thing. I'm assuming kids my age are having that conversation. I know I will personally. But I mean,
it needs to be had.
And
here's the thing: there's nothing wrong with them staying at home.
No.
But they need to understand that it's not as rosy as what it sounds.
Yeah.
You're constantly picking up after mini tornadoes all day. That's what kids are.
I think they think about just the staying at home, swiping the credit card, and
they are better. Stay-at-home kids stay-at-home mom raised kids. That you can tell that it's just like a kid that was breastfed or non-breastfed.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell a difference.
Yeah.
It's a big difference, but they're still kids. They're still going to do stupid stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing is, for women and for men, is that we stay course,
Mm-hmm.
right? When we make that decision, like, okay, you're staying at home, or you work from home and you can raise the kids, whatever, or you're a stay-at-home mom. For men, we're focused on our task, which is we're supposed to be the provider,
Absolutely.
the protector.
Yep.
Financially, that's
Provider,
that's our job.
Yeah.
So that's what we're focused on, right? We're not worried about all this other small stuff over here. That's supposed to be being taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and a lot of them do a great job. I'm not saying they didn't, but just after like 10 years, it was like, in mine and all my friends, all of a sudden, all these women just were like, you need to take over. And it's like, what do you mean I need to take? I've raised these kids for 10 years, and it's time for you need to quit working as much, and you need to take over from here. Like, you need to do all the sports and all the bop. And it's like, whoa, hold up. I said I wasn't traveling for soccer, because both my daughters did soccer, and I told her, so that's fine. We can do soccer, but I'm not traveling all over the United States and Texas and all that shit. I got work to do.
Yeah.
You
want them on that team, don't you? That team that cost $3,000 for them to be on.
Oh, trust me, how many times I wrote those checks.
Oh, yeah.
Walk out there, hey, we need another $2,500. We need this. I'm like, God almighty. Okay, I'll pay for it, but I'm not traveling. So, but cold weather got my little. Well, too, I'm on the carnivore diet, or like, so anytime I deviate from that diet, like sugar,
Mm-hmm.
dude, if I eat sugar, my nose will start running.
Really?
Yes.
I did keto for a while, and I lost a bunch of weight on. You have to be real religious about it, but if you do it right, you'll lose a ton of weight on keto. That was one of my favorites, but it's too much of a pain.
Well, that's why I'm just meat only right now. Because in a fast, I only eat one time a day.
That's how I am. Usually with me eating one time a day, I can usually eat pretty much whatever that last meal. So
right. Well, do you feel a lot more mind clarity during the day?
Absolutely, yeah. And just more energetic in general. If I have a meal before like 3, I'm groggy, I'm tired, I'm like,
Well, that's what I just had 3 hamburger patties from In and Out. That's why my nose is, because I soaked it in that sauce, So, but back to that. How long we been on, Tyler?
38.
Okay.
30.
I think with me, the way I see it is like, I would much rather if my wife doesn't want to work, okay, sure, we'll figure out how to do that. And then that, but we also need to think what issues that might cause down the road. My thing is it makes more sense to live in a household with 2 incomes. I mean, I'll bring in as much money as I can. I work my butt off to bring in as much money as I can. But I think we'd be able to provide so much more for our family, and so much more, a nicer house, be in a better neighborhood for a better school, send them to a better college, that kind of thing. If we've got 2 people working to bring in that money.
And that was part of my point. Perfect point. Okay. Because that's my point about after 10 years, those women were like, I've got a college degree, and, and it's like, well, but that's where, so my point on that, okay, is that, yes, they stay at home, but they lose touch with reality, okay, because the world changes all the time. It just keeps changing. Okay, they're thinking that just new cell phones are coming out.
Yeah.
Okay, but when it's time for them to go back to work, people are like, well, what have you done the last 10 years? I've been a stay-at-home mom. Sorry, there's been a lot changed in the last 10 years, and we're not looking to train.
Yeah.
So that was a big problem. That was a problem. 2, they lose touch of reality. Like when you're a stay-at-home mom and not that they're just spending your money, but whenever you can just do this and there's no consequence and it just always works, that's not good either. And then the husband feels like he's just a walking, talking ATM machine, and that is, you don't want to. That's most men. Okay, that's what a most man is. That's why you don't want to be a man. That's why you get your man card back, is because you can tell by the way most men that they've given up, they've accepted they're a walking, talking ATM machine. She runs the household. He doesn't make any rules, and he's just like 100 divided by 2 is 50, and we're miserable.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my life. This is my existence. Well, you can get out of that. You don't have to stay in that existence. It's because and it's not a woman problem. But if that's all they've known for the last 10 years, they're comfortable in it.
Mm-hmm.
But you're like, hey, man, because here's a big thing. And it's hard, too, when you're raising kids, especially for girls, because they don't want to give up the kid to a babysitter. You got to keep going out, man. You cannot grow apart.
Oh, yeah.
And it happens quick. And it happens in that moment where what we talked about is you're starting to have kids and you're thinking, all right, that's taken care of at home. Well, that's where the divide starts.
You kind of get set in your roles and you just stick to what you're supposed to be. Like, she's here taking care of the kids. I'm here going to work so I can provide for it.
I promise you, you're going to spin your head tomorrow and you're 35 years old and going, where did all this, like, what just happened? Because you wake up one day, or I did. Tyler might be able to attest to this, but you just wake up one day and you're like, I'm 35. It's because you're so focused on work, your career, making money.
Mm-hmm.
You just get to this point where, like, that was fast.
Yeah.
I was just 21, and now I'm 35. And
yeah, that's what I hear. Like, one of the biggest, I guess, pieces of advice people have with marriage is never stop dating. Like, never stop going out together. Never stop just, like, doing those little things that keep you, out of just your roles and more into what you are together.
You have to keep the intimacy going, man.
Yeah.
And it's not just sex.
Yeah.
You need to be able to communicate, and she needs to understand what you're going through at work. Like, because that's what happened with mine.
Yeah, both sides. Like, you got to be able to, like, listen to her and, like, but she's got to be able to listen to you and, what you're both going through. And
well, we both started out here, right? But as my business grew, she stayed here and I went here. So coming home, it's like, well, tell me about work. And I'd be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I have no clue. It's like, I know. So that's why let's not even talk about it. I've been talking about it all day. I don't want to talk about it anymore. So, next subject. And, well, you don't, and that's where that, you got to take the journey together. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But kids can derail that. And not having the plan can derail that. Yeah. Not having the talks can derail that. If you can keep that in check, typically, like mine now, she's looking back going, and I tried to tell her, I was like, you're making the single worst decision of your life. Like, I'm not begging you to stay, but I'm just telling you, you're making a very big I'm going to be a hard guy to replace, and she's finding that out now. So, and family, same way. They're like, I wish we wouldn't have kind of done that. It's like, well, you kind of did, and I kind of remember. So, Tyler, can you see what that temperature set at? Is it hot in here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's real warm. Thanks. But other than that, let's get off the relationship stuff because that's. Cool. I think we've pounded that.
Yeah.
It's most man moment. It's just important to. This is how you start your life, with your shit together and keep it together. And
I mean, there's gonna be ups and downs, no matter like whatever your plan is. You can only plan so hard. Like I had a plan coming out of college, what I was gonna do, and that got derailed. You never know what's gonna happen in the world. Like I'm sure a lot of people's plans got derailed with different things.
But if you're not prepared for, if you're not planned, the derailments are a lot easier to manage.
That is very true. Yeah.
Yeah. If you got a roadmap and you stick to it, those deviations are a lot easier to navigate through. So, hell, is there anything you want to talk about?
How about those dang blasted Cowboys?
Oh, I don't watch the Cowboys.
Good.
I quit watching them. I quit watching them the day that Jerry kneeled on that star.
I've been alive for 28 years, and I've never seen them have a really good season, or never seen them make a season that's like worth anything. Man, back in the day when Aikman and all them were, I know. Dude, I was into the Cowboys then. That's all I hear about is back in the day. Aikman, when JJ was the Jimmy Johnson, dude, the Cowboys were the shit, man. Yeah. Yeah. Now we get built up every year, and they just disappointed as soon as the playoffs come. Well, if Jerry Jones would just get his ass out of the just write the checks, Jerry. Let the coaches do their deal. Yeah. Did that defensive coordinator stay? Dan Quinn? I'm not sure. They really haven't said much since the season ended, so I saw something that he moved on, or I don't know. I could be wrong. I hope not. I like him, but we'll see. Yeah. Well, that's the only reason why they had such a good team was the defense. Yeah. I don't follow them, so I shouldn't say anything. Yeah, I just quit. I quit whenever they started doing all that kneeling, and as soon as they got into politics and all, that's what pisses me off is when sports like that get into politics, and it's like, dude, just play the game. I just want to watch football. Just play the game, man. I don't want to lecture. I don't want anyone's morals put on me. I just want to watch sports. Yeah, we get enough of it already. I was going to say, everywhere else in the world, that's all you see. So when I watch sports, I want to just watch. So how do you feel about the political climate that we're in? It's going to be real, real interesting, especially 2024 is going to be a wild year, dude. Yeah. With the Iowa caucus, the way that ended the other night, like it's going to be real interesting. But, I mean, so I guess the question I'm saying is your generation political? Because we didn't have to deal with it in mine until shit started getting real. I think it goes like this. So like my dad's generation, my dad's a Vietnam War veteran, so like that whole generation was very politically charged one way or the other. And then I feel like kind of since like I guess like Tyler's generation and mine, we've really now mine it's gone back up and down. Like everyone is very split. Like they're very outspoken about it. I find very few people who are like very just like, because the way I was raised is like your political beliefs are your business. You keep that to yourself and you let it out when you go to vote. It's no one else's business who you support. But now I think with social media too, and I think the news, and there being a lot of misinformation out there, people are a lot more vocal and a lot more. Well, we're more aware now. Yeah. The skirt's been blown up so high. Yeah. That they've been lying to us, and it's both sides, man. Oh, yeah. That's what I mean. Like, both sides, it's just... We just need a clean sweep of that place up there, man. They're all selling us out. Yeah. And... Yeah, I think we need some new characters would be cool. Well, there's a lot of and I've been seeing it. Like, I got a friend of mine running for Congress. He got out of... He was a business partner of mine. We did a few deals, and... Who is he, 12th District? He's going for Kay Granger's spot, John O'Shea. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. 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 We have a lot of politicians reaching out to us for billboards. That's like one of their best ways to communicate to their voters. So, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that's John O'Shea. Yeah. Yeah, 12th District. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I talked to him a couple weeks ago. He's coming on here. Oh, really? Yeah. There's another guy that's running too. Is he paying for it, or is he coming out of his – is he getting one? A billboard?
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet. They reach
Tell him
out
to
to
wait
us.
because we could put it on ours.
There's a lot of rules with political. There's a lot of rules when it comes to billboards.
Well, if he was a guest on the show, could we promote it?
I don't want to lie to you on your show. I don't know. I'll ask.
But if we have guests on like you, like if you came on again, we would put you up like coming soon this day.
Yeah, I mean, I think really the rules come into play when it's just when they're promoting their campaign. Like if you just say you just put up, like, hey, we have so and so on this week. If it was that, I'm pretty sure that's okay. I think it's just when it comes to vote for so and so, that's when it gets.
Yeah, no. Well, I don't think
murky.
that any of our billboards even do his district
That one,
because he's more Fort Worth side.
yeah, that one right up here, that's close. I'm not sure though. I don't think so. I think the other ones aren't though.
But what my point was there's a lot of business people getting out of business that have made their money. Like in where I live, this guy was a big home builder out there, and he's getting into politics. But there's a lot of people that I know that are business people that are saying, "Hey,
Yeah,
I'm thinking about it."
really? You should. That'd be
They wanted me to run for county commissioner after I got out of the concrete business because, I provided all their concrete to them, the county that I'm in, and they were like, "You know how to run a business."
Yeah.
They were like, everybody that we get in here, they blow the budget within the first quarter, or half of the So they were like, "Run! We need business people in here," and I think that's what we need running this country, man. We don't need a bunch of people that they've never done anything in their life except lie and sell us out.
Yeah, I was going to say, so I kind of miss the days. I feel like we're great as a country when a lot of our politicians were like ex-military or like people who have served or generals, like Eisenhower, that kind of thing, because they know what it's like. Like they put their life on the line for this country. So I think if they're in office, they're going to put their life on the line again. They're going to do whatever it takes to put us in the best position we need to be in, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, they've seen real life. None of these guys that have they've never seen real life.
They've been getting their hand, putting their hand out looking for donations to other.
They've never had a job. They've never done anything. Joe Biden. I mean, no, it's not just Joe Biden. It's any of them. Ask any of them when's the last time they made payroll, or what it takes to make payroll.
I think business people will probably make the best politicians. I mean,
because here's the thing. That's why they hate Trump so bad, is because he ran this country like a business.
Exactly.
And he got rid of all their gravy trains, is what happened. That's why they want to put him in jail. But if they would just get out of that mindset of thinking of, if this place was ran like a business, do you know how much more income and more tax revenue and the money that would be generated in this country if it was ran properly instead of just being abused?
Yep.
There would be so many more people starting businesses. We wouldn't have to go buy shit from other countries and all. I mean, it's just, we need to get back to the old. But man, me and Tyler talk about this all the time, is that it feels like the dam's been cracked. And it's both sides, not just one.
Mm-hmm.
But the lies and everything, it's been so exposed. But we finally cracked the dam or broke the fence that they've had us all locked in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody now is going, I'm not putting up with this bullshit no more. But we're still in the crawling stage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We gotta keep crawling. And
I think truth is just kind of slowly leaking its way back into the
2024 is the year
life.
of truth. Have you seen the stuff with Cat Williams?
Yeah, on Shannon Sharp show,
dude.
Yeah,
how many views did that thing do?
I think that episode got more views than any podcast like ever.
It was over 40 million. I know that it was 40 million the last time I looked.
Yeah. That stuff's so interesting.
Well, it needs to. We're in a war between good and evil right now.
Yeah,
we are, and that whole Hollywood's
funky, man. Hollywood is weird.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people that's why Miami's turning into Miami. All those they're sick of all that LA shit.
Uh-huh.
Like Dana White was talking about it the other day. He was like, I used to make excuses to go to LA. He said, you can't get me to go there. You have to pay me top,
That's why they're all coming here.
I know. but I hope the hell they leave their politics behind them, because that there's some sick people in that whole. Well, you heard
that whole Hollywood world, man. There's some weird sick stuff going down in there.
Yeah, I mean, we heard Cat Williams say that Harvey Weinstein offered to suck him off for a role, and he's like, no.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and that's why he's behind bars now.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot more, and they're all scared to death. That's why Epstein's listed and coming up.
Yeah.
So, Tyler, chime in on this one. Have you heard all this stuff going around that I know it's been said before, but Epstein might still be alive?
Oh yeah, that's been out there.
I don't know, but it's getting like
real
heated right now. Like it's that's always been there. Like they had a body double or something and let him escape,
or some kind of theory on what, how it went down. But yeah, no, there's people have been saying that since.
But it's just I've just been hearing a lot more recently.
Really?
Tyler, do you know anything about that?
I haven't really heard that coming up too much, but yeah, I mean, it was always suspect. Even the prison that they put him in the first place, like it was one of their like protected prisons, and it was like isolated, but it was like a really rough one.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But I've just heard recently it's gotten a little more on the map. I don't know. I just, with all the can you shut that door again? It's cold in here now. Yeah. Man, that computer puts off some heat, man. Is that what it's from? Okay. But yeah, just all the sickness, the corruption, all of that stuff. It's people are paying attention to it now. It's going to get interesting. This year is going to be a wild one.
I think so. I think like lots of people, economists, like lots of people are saying this year is going to be interesting for a lot of different reasons. One being the election, but like I think media is getting changed a little bit, like in terms of the news.
They're going to have to. They're not going to be in business very long.
Yeah,
because it's all coming here.
Yep.
You know what I mean? People are tired of all that shit. But is your age group, are they plugged into the politics?
Oh yeah, yeah, because we're all listening to podcasts. Like no one my age watches the news. Like my parents, they watch the news and they get all their, like people, in their 50s or up, they watch TV news and they get what, they hear however they're framing their news.
Yeah.
We, my generation, we listen to everything on the internet, podcasts, I guess I wouldn't call them like influencers, but like political influencers, I guess you would call them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But, people who have a big following, that's where we get our news from. So yeah, they're very plugged in, and like we feel like we have more of the truth because we're not getting our news framed by a news network.
You've seen it before. I'm sure you've seen the clip where they just start what one says and then they start.
Yeah.
And it's like 50 people saying the exact same thing at the same time, just verbatim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to talk to you, is because it brings hope that people are actually paying attention to this stuff. Because man, I had to get involved. Like once, like I grew up on Rush Limbaugh. That's when I started figuring it out. Because politics were just politics, like you said. Is whoever you vote for, it's your business. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah,
and man, my generation, it's like we had to get involved. Like my ex-wife, that's what she used to always say. She was like, well, they say, and I'm like, well, who are they?
Yeah.
Who's they? I don't believe what they say.
I was always taught to just question everything. Anything you hear, like, I'm like, really? Like, who's saying that? What's their motive behind saying that?
And who's their backer?
Exactly. Who's behind them? Like, where do they stand to gain by putting this piece of news out there? Are they putting it out there just to get clicks? Like, that's another big thing right now is that's one of the other reasons there's a lot of misinformation out there, because people put headlines out there that are completely ridiculous just so they can get clicks, because that's how they get paid.
Yeah.
So the more clicks it gets, it doesn't matter what truth is in that article. If they can get more people to click on it, they're going to make more. So, I think that's kind of what's also helped corrupt the whole news cycle.
Well, that and I'm not talking bad about YouTube, but you got to kind of see I mean, I understand. I'm not down for the censoring, but I can understand that they have to get in front of problems like that because it just turns it. I've got a 14-year-old son, and I had all his friends over this weekend, and I'm telling you, you give younger kids an inch, and they will take a mile, man. Yeah. I mean, and it's not that they mean to; they just don't understand what destruction they're causing for everybody else.
Yeah.
But they think it's funny.
Oh yeah.
You know, like all these whatever you want to call these the degenerates on the internet, you know, they'll do anything for clout or
yeah, like little pranksters or like
Neon. You know who Neon is?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
That stuff irks me. I'm like, I can't believe people are putting their time into like.
Who is putting their time into that? Or is that being pumped by the freaking sickos in California?
True. But I feel like
who would watch that? Seriously.
I think most of that is like kids under the age of 18. Like they get entertainment out of the weirdest stuff now.
Yeah. Well, my son and all his friends, they're all like big fans of the Nelk Boys and all.
Yeah. Well, I get that. They kind of got their start from what I understand. I'm not
pranking.
A huge follower. Yeah, but pranking, but also like the college party scene because they're the Happy Dad guys, right?
Yeah, that's all I drink is Happy Dad.
Exactly. So that's kind of how they got a lot of their following too.
But
appealing to the party like college atmosphere.
But they're smart too.
Oh yeah, they're great business guys.
Yeah, Kyle. That dude is smart, man.
Oh, yeah.
But, the first, that's how they got, doing pranks and all that stuff, but they can't do it anymore because they're too big.
Mm-hmm.
But they're at a level now to where they don't have to do all that anymore.
No, they have so many other, like, revenue streams and different ways of growing their brand and making money.
Yeah, they're smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I follow them just because I like seeing what they're doing. I like their Happy Dad.
Yeah.
They got the Shahidis are the ones that brought them to the next level. The Shahidis are John Shahidi is the main one, but what they did when they saw YouTube doing what it was doing, what they've done is number one, they figured out the algorithm and just how the whole thing works. But they went out there and got them a stable of influencers and said, okay, y'all really want to know how to make money on YouTube? You do it this way, but we get a piece.
Smart.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah. So, but that's what took them to the Happy Dad level and all that level of where they're at now. That's when they got with those guys. Because the Shahidis are involved with UFC and,
I haven't heard of them before.
Endeavor. You know who Endeavor is? Endeavor's who bought UFC.
Okay.
So Endeavor, remember Entourage?
The show?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the guy that was behind that was Ari Emanuel.
Okay.
You know who that is? He's a big dude in California or in L.A.
Okay. Is he like a producer or something?
It's hard to explain what he does, but he put together the deal with all the actors and all those people that pitched in money for the UFC because they sold it for $4.3 billion, but it was a conglomerate of that's what Endeavor is.
Okay.
It's a conglomerate of like Sylvester Stallone, Mark Wahlberg,
just big investors,
just a bunch of big guys that have got The Rock, all those kind of guys. And that's how, but Ari Emanuel, so the Shahidis are like in that kind of level of business.
Okay.
Yeah. They're into all sorts of stuff, but they saw the niche in YouTube, and it's not just YouTube, but they saw that one niche and they went and corralled. That's how Nelk was formed. Like they got Steve Will Do It. What was that? Jesse. He's out now. But all the other guys that were in it, they grouped them together and took all their audiences and put them all into one.
That's pretty brilliant.
And that's what Full Send is.
Okay. I feel like you could do that with like a bunch of different like not just Full Send, but like a bunch of different kind of.
What we're doing with the men's club.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you really are getting all these different businesses, putting business owners.
It's the same thing, but we'll build off of everybody builds off of each other, and it's non-selfishly. Like you don't have to. We're gonna have like meetings every day and all that, but I'm just saying like everybody's crowd, followers, clout, whatever you want to call it. We all join into one, and everybody benefits off of it.
Yeah.
So
It's a great, big network basically.
Yeah, and you do business within.
Yeah.
Like a fraternity, but at the same time, it's like, so now I won't use you as an example. Me and you, we've talked about this, but we'll use Tyler as an example. Okay. Tyler's going to be the guy in our men's club, business club, that there's all these kids that are like, hey, I want to go to college and learn how to do videography and all this, what we're doing here, filmmaking, production, whatever it is. They can pay Tyler instead of going to college. He could have a class every month of this is how we do this, right? And he has a network where everybody pays, whatever their fee is, $50, $100, whatever. And he teaches kids how to do it or people that are in a job that they don't like. And it's expensive to run all this stuff, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Kids or just like someone looking to make, like you said earlier, like a side hustle, like, oh, I want to produce sneaker videos, for example,
right.
In my side, on the side while I also have my corporate job, like, he can help people learn that kind of skill.
Right. For cheap.
Yeah.
For cheap and at their own pace.
Yeah.
For cheap. And then 9 times out of 10, we're in this business. We're in the production business. That's what this whole office is going to be, is a production house, for where we'll have all that in-house. But everybody that comes on here and everybody that's part of the men's club, they're all on social media. They're all doing podcasts. They're all doing videos. They're all doing all sorts, or we're doing it for somebody else, some company. Mm-hmm. Chances are we'll hire you to do it or hire your business to do it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Come intern for us if you want, or how, Tyler can speak on that, but it's a way to bring anybody that's you're probably happy in your career.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But there's a lot of people that aren't, and are just like, man, and it's hard to ask because it's, there's a lot of guys that are my age or Tyler's age that are just like, fuck, I made the wrong decision. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But our age group, man, we're kind of stuck. Like, if we don't have a good job, like, what's the best way to explain this? Your age group, y'all have seen it totally different. Like, but for me, I'll take me for an example instead of generalizing people. I don't know what the hell I'd be doing other than construction if I wasn't taking a shot on this. I wouldn't know. And I'm a business guy. I'd be in real estate is what I'd be in.
Yeah.
I'd be buying and flipping real estate. That's what I'd be doing. But I'm just saying, if my age generation, they're like, we're running out of options. You know what I mean? If you don't have some college or a career underneath your belt.
Yeah, experience.
Yeah. And if you go through what I went through, I don't know how anybody would have started over again.
Yeah. I mean, I can absolutely speak to that. I didn't change career paths, but I changed job. Like, changing jobs can be scary, and that's exactly what I did, especially being at a job I was at for almost 3 years. I did not like where I was at, and I was like, I hope I'm not stuck in this spot.
Yeah.
And then luckily, like, I basically just took a leap and jumped and got a new job, and same career, in terms of sales, it being sales, but that's scary. Like, I could have stayed there. I'll tell you what happened to all my friends at that last job. They all got canned because they eliminated that division of the company.
Wow.
So if I stuck around at that job that I was miserable at, I would have ended up jobless. But instead, I said, all right, like, I can either stay here, or I can make moves. So I made moves, and I got a new job. And now I love my career. Now I love the job I'm in. So, I mean, people need that kind of guidance. Or if you don't have that, if you don't have an idea of where to go, or if you don't have skills on where to go, if you're at that kind of crossroads in your career path, or in your job, having something like Most Man would be huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's huge for my age group too.
Yeah. That's what I mean. All age groups.
Because that's what I'm saying. Your generation right now, y'all have got a very tricky path to navigate for success. is what I'm, because this all looks easy. This, doing YouTube and all that, and yeah, down the road, advertisers and all that will jump on board and all that, but it's not very easy doing this.
Oh no, I can imagine.
It's a lot harder than it looks, and man, especially my generation, I guarantee you they'd be walking in here scared to death, going, "What in the fuck is this?"
I think they're in a spaceship.
Yeah, but and that's kind of Tyler's specialty. That's what Tyler did before he came here. And is that he would take companies like people in my age group or older that were like, "Nah, man, I'm not doing that YouTube. I'm not doing Facebook, or I don't need all that." Well, all of a sudden their business starts doing this. They'd hire him to come in and put him on the surgical table and get him back to life, because you will die if you don't have social media and all that now.
I was about to say that to be a successful business, you have to be on social media. Things like billboards are great too. Like, you have to have some kind of outreach to your customers. Otherwise, you're just there and they don't know about you. I kind of think I think as small businesses, take like a taco shop, for example. I think of advertising as as you would like in my business as like cold calling. Not every customer you talk to is going to come buy from you, but if you talk to 10 customers, one of them is. So that that's one more customer you had, and then they can tell people, and then they tell people, and then that's how you grow a business.
Yeah.
So you have to have some kind of outreach, and social media is huge for that.
Yeah, I point to that. It's all the numbers, and you can't give up.
Yeah.
Because when I did the door-to-door thing, my deal was every day, I don't care if I sold or not, I had to hit 100 doors.
Yep.
Because 10 people, 5 of them would listen to me, 3 would take me serious, and 2 would close. But those 3 would call back or schedule a couple days later.
Yep.
And then a couple years later, a group of that 5 would call in, but you had to hit 100 doors.
You have to put the attempts in, and then those 2 could tell their friends or their neighbors, hey, I got great service from this guy. You should call him.
Yeah.
And that's how you grow a business. That's how, that's the only way you'll be successful, especially in sales. You got to put the numbers in.
And that was, now that we finished that point, I was going to bring up about billboards. Y'all kind of went through a cycle of where we were all saying, is our billboards dying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, now it's y'all are back.
Yeah, 100%. When I was looking at,
because it's either social media or nobody's going to the TV no more.
No, or radio.
It's dead.
Yeah.
WBAP just now got on FM because now.
Not to jump on radio.
No.
Or TV.
No. I was about to pump up. I'm a WBAP guy, but I'm just saying that's just one demographic that if you're in the certain type of, like if you're in the chimney business or if you're in the home services business or something like that, that crowd is so loyal.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was thinking about starting my chimney company again, and I went on there and did some ads. Dude, my phone rang off the hook. It wasn't like it used to be where you had to be on there for 3 to 6 months before it start work. No, phone commercial would go off, boom. Need to schedule.
Yep.
Yeah, but no, radios. The only radio I listen to is WBAP, and it's just the Dan Bongino show. Yeah, that's it.
The thing I tell all my clients is billboards are the one thing you can't turn off. Your phone. If you're on scrolling Facebook, I get them all the time. I get clothing ads. I love Takova's boots, and I get Takova's ads all day on all social media platforms.
Yep.
Every time I see an ad, I click out of that app because I hate seeing ads. But billboards you can't turn off. You can't turn the radio station. You can't turn the TV station. You can't exit out of your app. As long as you're on the road, which unless something changes, everyone will always be on the road. So as long as people are on the road, billboards will work. So that's why
those digitals pop at night too.
Oh, they're beautiful. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I just when I was in and out, I looked at both of them on the way back or there and for because so much traffic. It was right there.
Yep.
You didn't do nothing else but looking at billboards.
Yep. I got a guy on there right now. He's plugging his boat show this weekend.
That's the one on 820.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Fun and Sun boat show, in-house boat show. Go check it out.
Yeah, no, he's on. I'm talking about the 2 that we're getting.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah,
on this side of 820.
Yeah, he's on the other side.
Yeah, I saw that one on my. I did see it though, but those digitals pop.
Yeah,
even during the day.
Yeah, and that's so I'm to my knowledge of a lot of what we're trying to do is get more of those digital billboards up.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah,
they don't want y'all putting up stagnants anymore, do they?
No, I mean we don't have any problems with those.
Getting space for them?
No, we got people calling us a lot trying to sell their property or like have us put something on a structure on their property so they can kind of
get a revenue out of it.
Get a revenue on it. Yeah, absolutely.
What's the split on that? Or probably can't talk about it.
Yeah, that's not information I even have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the sales side, but we have a whole real estate side that handles all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, it's interesting, man. It's interesting. I had a sign on because I was on the highway. They work.
Yeah.
My concrete company, we had all sorts of stuff that we sold, just like leftover concrete products because we didn't want to waste it. Shit. Saw your sign out there, so I thought I'd stop.
There you go. Yeah, we work with concrete's huge. We work with a lot of home builders, metal, like scrap metal, all that kind of stuff. I had a concrete plant, so mine was kind of like you build it. That's why I'm so intrigued in this from a business perspective, is because I had that company that you build it, they come. We didn't have to have a website. We didn't have to. You know what I mean? You got to reach out. You got to gain a following kind of thing.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So that's when I started. What happened was I've had this idea for 15, 16 years, but I didn't know a way to market it back then because I was like, man, just because you know how it went from Yellow Pages to Google, then Google to Facebook, and now YouTube and all. So it was just a real weird time to do online advertising. You'd be wasting a lot of money and not get anywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of different avenues coming at you.
And they couldn't tell you how good it was working or not either.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I broke my foot when I was going through all this stuff. My divorce, my bankruptcy and all that. So I'm stuck in bed, and that's when I got addicted to YouTube. I was like, okay, this is why everybody's doing this.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I figured everything out because Tyler way smarter than me in a lot of that department. But I was like, this is the future. Like you can't go. That's why I'm asking the question is because doing what I did before and with how business is done today, man, I don't know if I'd make it.
Totally different.
I'm talking like it's a totally different. It's just a totally different age, and that's what I'm saying. Just enjoy it, dude, because you're gonna wake up and all the boom, 40, 35, boom, 40, and you're like, God dang, man. Can we slow this train down a little bit? And the answer is no.
No. I got to stay locked in on how businesses are working. Like that's one of the things I talk to a lot of my clients about is just like their business and what they do and how they see it changing. And so that way I can kind of stay up to par with,
stay ahead of it.
Exactly. So I constantly kind of know what's going on
because it's changing fast.
Exactly. And it always will. It'll always keep moving forward and probably
it used to not be that way in my generation.
Really?
Oh, dude, that's what I'm saying.
I can't even talk to that because I've only been in the professional world for like 5-6 years now. So,
well, how do I say this? It's a lot more competitive now. Like, if you had a good idea back when I was 20, 25 years old, you didn't. Number one, it was hard. It was harder to start a business back then.
Okay.
Easier now because of social media and all that. Okay. Harder back then. You just had less competition because of the mindset of you go to school, you go to college, and you get a job. So I was like the crazy kid. Like the parents, we don't want you running around with Mark. You know what I mean? Like he's not on the path that you're going down, little Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to fail in life, starting a business at 17. Who the hell does he think he is? Well, they know who I am now, but what I'm saying is that you're almost shunned, not shunned upon. If your parents were smart and business people and had money and all that, they got it. But others, it was 80% was like, you work hard, You go to school, go to college, you get a career.
Yep.
And that's it. There is no other option. I was like, fuck that. But it was easier. It's just more competitive now because all those people were doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're
and if you weren't, you went into like what, construction or you name those kinds of jobs.
First place you start is construction,
or a cop or a firefighter, something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Now you don't, if like we were saying earlier, you don't have to go to college to be a business owner, a successful business owner.
No, and it's almost like kids are not wanting to go because they know it's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
There's other ways of doing it, but now we're still going to need the doctors, the lawyers, the architects, the blah, 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 blah. College is not dead.
Oh, no.
But it's just there's a new era, and that's what I'm saying. 2024, me and Tyler have been talking about it. There's going to be a big shift in how the world gets down.
I'm curious to see like how your son, like how he navigates the college after
He's
college.
not going to college. His plan right now, he races dirt bikes.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, so he just got his pro card. Hell, he got it this weekend. But his plan, and this is what I talked to you about, all my son's friends and all, because they're all like, how'd you do it? Like I don't. I'll tell you this off air because I don't want to sound cocky. But I've done well, So like, my son gets a little bit more opportunity than they do.
I hear you. Okay.
So, like, man, how can we make money like you did? I'm like, man, if I were you, the next generation of millionaires / multimillionaires, get back into the trades. Start a plumbing company.
Oh, yeah.
My son wants
Absolutely.
Here's what my son wants to do. He's already mechanically inclined. Okay. He works on his dirt bikes and all that, trucks. He's going to diesel school in high school. And as soon as he'll have his license once he gets out. And I told him, we'll start a diesel performance shop. Now, if he wants to go do something else, but, see where we come in Aledo. We live in Aledo. So if you can't catch a ball, bounce a ball, throw a ball, you don't fit in at school.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a huge football school.
Yeah,
yeah. And
it's so political.
Yeah.
But my son's been racing since he was 3, and he's got they've got this group that they've started that, man, I've got kids showing up right and left on dirt bikes, wanting my son to teach him how to do wheelies and.
That's cool. Little racing group.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, yeah. And now all of a sudden they're kind of the hot shit in Aledo. Like the chicks are like, man, the dirt bike guys are hot, because they're all thrill seekers, man. They're all, man, they're real men.
The football guys are a dime a dozen,
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's going to be interesting, man.
I mean, that's great advice. Like owning a business in the trades is huge. I think one of the most like well-off friends I had growing up, still to this day, they own a concrete company.
Yeah, well, I was in the concrete business. I delivered the concrete to him.
Yeah,
but I was I'm talking like the home services business.
Oh yeah,
you cannot find anybody to do work on your house. Yeah,
electricians, plumbers.
Yeah, I mean, and it's. But here's the other problem. There is finding good help. People that actually want to work.
True.
So, it's a tricky one. I almost got back in the home services business when I went through all what I went through. It's the same thing with, like, I don't ever want to see a concrete truck ever again. I don't ever want to see a piece of yellow iron ever again.
Yeah.
I've done that. I've done it. This is really interesting to me. And I see the upside of it, and it's a lot better money too.
Yeah, huge upside.
Yeah.
And you're helping people.
Yes. And that's always been my knack. Everywhere. I was always the guy that everybody came to. I'm not saying that I'm the guy that everybody needs to come to, but we're building a network for y'all to where we will have enough guys and we'll help each other out. So, hell, that'd be a good way to end it.
Yeah. I did want to ask, what are next steps for you guys? Like when can people start, joining the men's club?
Within the next probably couple of weeks, we want to do some back end stuff on our website. We're talking about building an app.
Oh, that would be perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what me and Tyler have got to work through this week.
Cool.
Is figuring out how to do that. Yeah. And I mean,
because I asked because I want to get involved. I mean, as soon as you and I started talking about, even at Billboards aside, I was just, loved listening to you talk about this brand and this company and what you guys are doing. So yeah, I would love to get involved.
It's going to be fun, man. And that's the whole thing is we're going to make it fun.
Yeah.
To where everybody, and it doesn't feel like you have to, we got a meeting,
You should though. You should do some get-togethers.
We're going to.
Yeah.
We're going to. We're going to for sure. And when I did the pilot program for this, I went around to a bunch of bars and stuff talking.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I bet you could get a lot of people just.
The women were like, "Well, tell me when you're having the men's club meeting because we want that." They're like, "We want to meet real men."
Yeah.
We're out here trying to find real men, and it sounds like you got a pool of them all in one room. So
you're gonna turn into a dating app pretty soon.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. So, is there anything you want to plug?
If you need a billboard, let me know. Dom Ramirez. I'll put my information, I guess, on the podcast.
Well, he'll give it to Tyler, and he can post it on the.
That'll work.
But if you want to give out your handles, you can give out your handles.
I don't really do much social. I'm on LinkedIn, Dominic Ramirez. You can message me there, or you can hit my cell number, and we'll put all that information, I guess, on the link.
Yep.
Cool.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks for coming, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
It was a pleasure. All right. Dominic Ramirez, everybody. Thanks for joining in today. It was fun, man. That was a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartMedia. JoinTheMen'sClub.com is the website. info@themostmen.com is the email. Come to Rumble. Come on over to Rumble and see us on Rumble. Y'all have a good day. Thank you.